Good morning, everybody. This is Liz Schode, registered dietitian and director of clinical nutrition here at Jackson Purchase Medical Center. And I'm doing another Learning with Liz lesson today. So I was trying to think about what kind of topic I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And I was actually discussing this with my husband last night, and he said, well, why don't you talk a little bit more about salt and sodium and how much of that our body actually needs every day. And I was like, well, that's a really, really good topic to discuss. I've kind of touched this topic back several lessons ago, but I thought I just kind of wanted to go in a little bit more detail to kind of help you out in case you need to watch with that. So salt or sodium it's actually, something that our body actually kind of needs. But if we get too much of it with some people, it can cause problems. So I always tell people that sodium's the great big picture, and then salt or table salt or sodium chloride is one of the little pictures that makes up sodium. And there's other sodium compounds out there also that may be in different kinds of our foods that we eat, and we just don't even think about that it happens to have some type of sodium compound in there. So, it's, as I was reading an article this morning that was written by the FDA, and they were talking about, you need to know what your numbers are. Sodium, as I said, it's a very essential nutrient that our body needs, but just in small amounts. It helps to keep our body fluids kind of equalized. It helps to keep our muscles running smoothly and our nerves, to run like they should. But when we get too much of it, it's not a good thing. So the American eats an average of 3,400 milligrams. That's 3,400 milligrams of sodium per day. But what they recommend for us to have in a day is actually only 2,300 milligrams or 2,300 milligrams in a day. So, that's kind of a bit of a difference. And 2,300 milligrams is equivalent to 1 teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to talk about in a little bit about how much sodium is in different foods to just kind of help you think about, maybe I don't need this, and maybe I need to use this instead of that type of thing. So where you start is you look at those food labels. You read that label, you look at that list of ingredients to see where salt is listed in that. When you read a list of ingredients, it goes from the most to the least in the amount of ingredients that's in that food product. So if salt is listed first, it's going to have quite a bit of sodium in it. If it's listed last, it's not going to have as much. So it's really, really important for you to kind of look at that. Also on labels, they can put things on those labels to kind of help us. So if something says it's sodium free or salt free, that means it has less than 5 milligrams per serving. If something says very low sodium on that, then it means it has 35 milligrams or less per serving. Low sodium means it's 140 milligrams or less per serving. Reduced sodium means it has at least 25% less of the original food product. And light in sodium or lightly salted means at least 50% less sodium than the regular food. And then if you see it says no salt added or unsalted, then that means that no salt is added during processing. But the food itself may still contain some sodium in it. So, so what foods contain sodium? Well, gosh, there's a lot of things. A lot of our processed foods contain a lot of sodium or salt in them. Deli meats, pizza, soups, sometimes pastas that have mixed sauces in it and things like that. So I'm just going to kind of read off some of the higher sodium foods for you. So bacon. Bacon is a thing that a lot of people like to eat. In 2 slices of bacon, you get 300 milligrams of sodium. So if somebody eats, say 6 pieces of sodium, or 6 pieces of bacon, sorry about that, you've got to multiply that 300 times 3, you get 900 milligrams in those 6 pieces of bacon. A biscuit, in 1 biscuit, there's 350 milligrams. In 1 ounce of American cheese, there's 400 milligrams of sodium in that. A hot dog, which a lot of people like to eat hot dogs, 510 milligrams of sodium in that 1 hot dog. A dill pickle, a lot of people like to eat dill pickles, and we think that's something that contains sodium, which it does. In one large dill pickle, there's 570 milligrams of sodium. But if we ate just a quarter of that pickle, then you're going to have less. As I said, table salt in 1 teaspoon. I always have to look at this to make sure I say it right. It has 2,325 milligrams of sodium. So think about it, if you pick up that salt shaker and you shake, 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 you're adding way too much sodium into that food. Canned soup, 1 cup, has 700 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium. So you want to read those food labels. You want to look to see how much is in a serving of that food product. It's also going to give you a percentage. You may not understand if it says 500 milligrams, but it's going to give you a percentage on the side of that. A label is based off of 2,400 milligrams in a day. So that food label is going to have the milligrams, and then it's going to have the percentage that milligrams is of that 2,400 milligrams. So that can help you a whole lot to say if it only has 5% or if it has 50%. So, just really, really trying to watch how much we add to foods, read those labels, and then I'm going to kind of read off for you 10 easy tips for reducing our sodium intake. So the first thing it says is to read the nutrition label. Look at that, like I was talking about. Prepare your own food if you can. So try to limit things like packaged sauces, mixes, instant products, because they are going to have some extra sodium or salt contained in that. Add flavor without adding sodium. So use garlic powder, not garlic salt. Use onion powder, not onion salt. Lemon pepper, read your ingredients on lemon pepper, because oftentimes salt is the first thing listed on lemon pepper. But you can get sodium-free lemon peppers to use to flavor foods. Try to buy fresh rather than processed foods. Watch your vegetables. Canned vegetables are going to have some salt with them. It's a very easy thing that you can do. You can just pour that juice off of them, rinse it if you want to, add a little tap water back to it. There you've cut back with a lot of that salt that might be in that canned item. Unsalt your snacks. So try to get, like say if you're going to get nuts, get lightly salted or unsalted nuts. Potato chips. There is a lightly salted potato chip that you can buy. Crackers, for instance, you can get unsalted top crackers, and that can help us decrease our sodium intake. And look at your condiments. I mean, ketchup has some sodium, all of them do, but we don't need to use a half a bottle, just use a little bit of it. And watch our portion size. Just trying to eat a little bit less of something that we know might contain a lot of sodium. Say sauerkraut, for instance. Sauerkraut has a lot of sodium in it, so just have a small portion of it rather than say a half a can. And then when you're at a restaurant, sometimes that can be a challenge, but you can ask them not to prepare your foods with salt, not add salt when your food comes to your table. Ask for condiments to be on the side, and then you control how much you put on those food items. And then that way you're controlling how much you're taking in. So, you can do these really easy things to help you reduce that. So I hope this kind of gives you just a little information about salt and sodium. It's okay to have a little, but having a lot is not too good for our bodies. So hopefully this will help you kind of understand all that. If anybody has any kind of topics that you would like for us to discuss here on Learning with Liz, please just leave us a comment, and we would be glad to do that. So I hope everyone has a great day today.